We're nearing the halfway point in this year's Formula One race calendar, and we arrive at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. We're live from the racetrack as the teams are about to leave their garages for the start of today's practice session. We should expect to see some very large crowds here this weekend, as we do every year at the British Grand Prix. It's a popular racing circuit, it has huge fan support, and is well liked by the drivers and teams.
Many of the teams are based in Britain, and so Silverstone is their home race. It's one of the most historic circuits on the F1 calendar, and one that all the teams enjoy racing at.
Not only is Silverstone one of the oldest circuits in the Formula One World Championship, but it's also home to some of the most iconic corners, and none more so than Maggots and Beckett's. This is a high-speed sequence of left, right, left, tightening corners that lead into Chapel, and then of course the long hanger straight.
The high speeds of this sequence demands extreme skill and precision from the driver. Getting this wrong will affect the momentum all the way down the hanger straight, which is also a DRS zone.
Hello guys, and welcome back to my F1 2015 career mode. We are here for the British Grand Prix. It's my home Grand Prix, not Daniil Kvyat because he is Russian, but it is my home Grand Prix. So last time out in Austria, just going to give you a couple of seconds to pause this video if you haven't already seen it. Okay, so last time out in Austria, we had a fantastic result. Not a good start. We had a worst start of the whole entire season, and including last season as well. But we managed to work our way back up into third position in the last couple of laps. So it was still a decent result for us. This time out in Britain, still looking for that first race win. Hopefully we can get it here. It would be fantastic if I can get it at this track. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Nothing happened in practice, so let's head over to the results.
Nico Rosberg has proven in today's practice session that he's the one to watch for qualifying tomorrow as he sets the fastest time of today. Welcome to this afternoon's qualifying session here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. It's going to be an exciting afternoon as the teams battle it out for the prize of pole. Silverstone is steeped in racing history, and we can definitely say that every track position will be hotly contested in the next few minutes.
Over the last few years, there's been a range of winners from Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari. And I think those are the teams we need to look out for again in today's qualifying session.
Qualifying one sees a disappointed Sergio Perez getting knocked out of qualifying. Not what he or the team were hoping for. That's a very disappointing performance from Fernando Alonso. He would have been wanting a top 10 start for tomorrow's race, but instead, he's gone out in Q2.
So that was the results from both Q1 and Q2. As you can see, we got into Q3 really easily, topping the timesheets in both of those. So hopefully we can do that again in Q3 and get pole position for the British Grand Prix. We're just going to have to wait and see for that. Let's have a look at the couple of laps that we managed to put in this qualifying session. Here we go then, coming into Club and Vale to set our first lap in this Q3 session. What sort of time is it going to be? And it's 1:35.1, so that is a great lap. We're not sure where that will put us at the moment. We've got to wait and see what the other drivers do. But we're coming into the next couple of corners. So here we are on our second lap, coming through Club and Vale yet again, coming across the line. And it's a 1:34.7, so we do manage to improve. We are P1 at the moment, but will the other drivers be able to improve? Maybe they haven't put on the faster tyres. We're just going to have to wait and see for that. And here we go, coming around for our final lap. We're going to come through Club and Vale for the final time. We're still 1:34 is the fastest time. The other drivers are coming across and we are going to get P1 anyway because everyone else has crossed the line. But what are we going to finish it off with? It's a 1:34.5, and that is a great time to finish off this Q3 session and get P1.
Daniil Kvyat has been awesome today, and he's been rewarded with P1 and pole for the race tomorrow.
It's been a great session for the team. They've really been pushing hard to make this happen, and their hard work has been rewarded.
So there we go, P1 in both practice, Q1, Q2 and now Q3. Is that a good sign to get a race win here in Britain? We're just going to have to wait and see for that. We managed to beat Lewis Hamilton by 7 tenths of a second, so that is also good news. Then it's Nico Rosberg who is in third. Kimi Räikkönen is next to him in fourth with Sebastian Vettel, his teammate, right behind him in fifth, with Felipe Massa next to him in sixth. Then it's our teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. He managed to qualify in seventh with Valtteri Bottas next to him in eighth. Then it's Roman Grosjean and Nico Hülkenberg who round out the top 10 of this qualifying session. So without any further ado, let's head over to the race for the British Grand Prix.
It's Sunday afternoon, and that means it's time for Formula One. This week finds us in the lush English countryside as the teams make their final preparations before the start of the British Grand Prix here in Silverstone. If Daniil Kvyat can get to the first corner with his car intact and still in first place, well, he'll be a difficult man to pass. After yesterday's surprise qualifying victory, he'll feel on top of the world, and I'd wager he's thinking he's in with a chance of victory today.
It's certainly better for a driver to be out in front, as they're able to drive without having to contend with the dirty air and overheating caused by being sat behind another car.
The dominant force so far this season has been Mercedes. They have the best car and two of the best drivers on the grid. It's hard to not see them maintaining their ascendancy throughout the rest of the season.
Mercedes have such a great setup, they have great leadership, and in Lewis and Nico they have two drivers that are capable of winning the World Championship. I guess their hardest challenge is trying to manage the intense competition between their drivers.
Here we go then, it's race day. It is the British Grand Prix. We're starting on P1 on the grid. Let's have a look at the race strategy for today's race. It's going to be a two-stop strategy, pitting for the options on lap 15 and then onto the primes on lap 31. So let's get this race underway. The lights start to come on now. We've got a good chance of taking up the win. Like our engineer was saying, it's 5 lights. And away we go for the British Grand Prix. We get off to a decent-ish start compared to Austria, but we still managed to get overtaken by both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, coming around the outside of whoever that is, Kimi Raikkonen, banging wheels, and then we go around the inside of both the Mercedes. What a fantastic move into turn 2, then heading towards the loop. Can we defend from both of them? Yes, we do. Lewis Hamilton is on the prime tyres, so he's going to be slow, so we're going to need to try and get away from him as much as possible, and hopefully he can block off Nico Rosberg, Kimi Raikkonen, and the likes of that. As we are going down the Wellington straight, it looks like Lewis Hamilton is right on our tail. He's going to try and move around the outside. We're going to be later on the brakes, which we do. Going to go through Brooklands and then in towards Luffield. And looks like both Mercedes are fighting. It looks like Nico Rosberg has got past Lewis Hamilton, but he's coming back in now, as we can see in our wing mirrors, as he forced them off wide, and both of them look like they've lost a lot of time to us going through Luffield. So now as we head down the old pit straight, then into Copse Corner, we managed to have a bit of a gap to Lewis Hamilton at the start of the Grand Prix as we run it wide at the exit of Copse, and now heading in towards Maggots, then Beckett's. So far a good first lap. We did lose the lead initially, but we managed to gain it back from both Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg with a fantastic move up through turn 2. And then now we're coming down the hanger straight. No DRS at the moment. That won't be activated until lap 3. Well, it looks like we've got a fairly decent gap, as it's 2.5 seconds to Nico Rosberg and then an extra couple of attempts to Lewis Hamilton behind him. So we've got a fairly decent gap to the drivers, and it's only lap 1 as we're going to come through Club and Vale. Running it a bit wide there, not really clipping the apex. Now we're going to hug the apex as we're going to come across the line to set the fastest lap, as we are going to be the first one to come across the line. And it is a 1:44 to start with, and the gap at the moment is a 2.7 seconds. So we've got a fairly decent start there to have quite a good lead to both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. As we cut ahead to lap 6 now, what is happening here is we're going through Club and Vale. Looks like we've still got a fairly decent gap to Nico Rosberg, who is the driver behind us, as there is a driver in the pit lane at the moment. Hopefully he doesn't block us as he comes out. Not too sure who it is. It looks like it's a Ferrari. Yes, it is Kimi Raikkonen, after the disastrous race that he had in Austria with the crash that he had with me at the beginning, to now be down in 20th position on the lap 7. So it's been a bad start to the British Grand Prix for Kimi Raikkonen. Hopefully for him, he can manage to bring that back up. But we are challenging with him at the moment for 3rd position in the drivers' standings. So hopefully we can that can help us to go up above him. As we've now got Kimi Raikkonen on the back of us on lap 12. Looks like he's going to try and unlap himself. He is faster at this stage with the newer option tyres, so I wouldn't be surprised if he go past us here at the Wellington straight. He's right on our tail. He will get DRS on us as he goes to the overtake up the inside in towards Brooklands. And there he goes. Easy move for him at the end of the day. The blue flags won't come out yet. They won't come out for another couple of marshal points, because he is trying to unlap himself. So they do give him a bit of a chance. We're just going to have to wait and see if he does manage to pull away. If he doesn't, then unfortunately for us, he is going to hold us up. But as you can see, on lap 16, he has managed to pull away. And we're going to come into the pits for our first pit stop in this race. It's going to be it's the slowest pit lane and the longest pit lane in the whole entire F1 calendar. So sorry about this. This is going to be a very, very slow pit stop as we come in towards the pit lane, underneath the podium, and then in towards the Red Bull pit stop area. What sort of pit stop is it going to be from the Red Bull boys? It is going to be a 2.3 second stop. So that's a fairly decent stop there, as we've got Lewis Hamilton, who looks like he might be coming past us now as he comes through. We're just going to have to wait and see for that. No, it's not. So Lewis Hamilton hasn't come through yet, but this might be him coming down the start-finish line now. So he may be able to get... It's going to be neck and neck as we come out of the pits. We lose the back end ever so slightly and lose it again, banging into the barrier. Lewis Hamilton, will he go for the overtake? Yes, he will. There he is on our left. So Lewis Hamilton has taken the lead on the prime tyre, so he's going longer into the race. He'll still be on those for another couple of laps. But now, can we get him back? Because we've led every race so far, every lap so far, sorry. So can we get him back into before this lap is over? We put it down into Rich, we put it up into Rich Mix to try and catch him up before this lap is done. Going in towards Brooklands, then Luffield. We are quite a bit behind him, so it's 1.4 seconds in fact. So it would be quite tough to try and overtake him, but looks like we caught up a little bit in towards Brooklands and Luffield on these faster, newer option tyres. So let's have a look. We're going to have to wait and see as we go through the old international pit straight and then in towards Cops Corner. And then it's into our favourite section, which is Maggots and Beckett's. So coming into Cops Corner now, it looks like we're not gaining too much on Lewis Hamilton there, but then on the exit, look at that, we can see his name now. We are definitely gaining on as we come in towards Maggots and Beckett's. How much are we going to gain here? Look at that, gaining so much on Lewis Hamilton. Can we go up the inside into the next part? No, we're not. We're just going to have to tuck behind. We're going to get the slipstream and hopefully the DRS as well as we go in towards Stowe along the Hanger Straight now. Going for the overtake on Lewis Hamilton. Can we go up the inside? We've got enough speed in this Red Bull Renault. Going up the inside, and that is us up into P1. But will he come back at us on the inside? No, we don't. We just defend him off there as we're going to go in towards Club and Vale, and then come across the line to lead in towards the start of lap 18. So that means we have still led every lap in this race so far. Hopefully we can carry on that and win the race, but only time will tell. So Lewis Hamilton is the guy behind us. He's 5 tenths behind us. So there's already quite a bit of a gap at the moment as we go in towards the first turn. But now it's lap 19 and Lewis Hamilton has dropped off massively. The gap is now 4 seconds.
We anticipate good levels of grip for the next few laps at least.
So there's our engineer just telling us that the grip level on our tyres is okay for the time being as we go in towards turn 1, and it looks like there has been a collision. No, it's not. Lewis Hamilton, as you can see on the minimap right now, he has just pulled over to the side. He has retired from this race. So the championship leader has retired from the British Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix. So that is unfortunate for him. But good news for us is we can try and catch him up in the championship. So we've now got, who is this? It's Kimi Räikkönen yet again trying to unlap himself. So we must have overtaken him in the pit stop stages. So he's going to try and unlap himself, but he doesn't have to worry too much as we are coming into the pits on lap 32. We've got Jenson Button ahead of us, and then it's Nico Rosberg. He's the driver who is behind us. Not too sure how far at the moment. He pitted on the lap before, so not too sure what the gap is. Hopefully we can do the overcut and come out ahead of him. We're just going to have to wait and see for that. As we come in towards the pit box, it is going to be a 2.394 second stop. And Jenson Button does manage to come out in front of us yet again, so we will hopefully be able to get past him quite easy as there's a driver coming past us through the pit lane. But it is not Nico Rosberg. This must be him in the group that's coming through now. Not too sure those. We're going to come out of the pit lane. Hopefully try not to lose the back end like we did earlier. No, we don't. Not there. And then go over the bump. Didn't manage to lose the back end there either. So Jenson Button has driven away a little bit. Nico Rosberg's just come across the start-finish line as we've run wide going in towards turn 3 and then into turn 4, which is the loop. We've got Sergio Perez or Nico Hulkenberg. It's one of the Force Indias right behind us in our wing mirrors. He'll be trying to unlap himself down the well into the straight. Not too sure if we're going to let him through there. It's not like he's Kimi Räikkönen, because Kimi Räikkönen was a lot faster than us. The Force India, we will be getting him back in the next couple of corners. So he's going to take the inside line. We're going to hold it round the outside line with the Force India on our inside, giving him the room. Then going into the Luffield, we will have the inside line, and that is us back past him. We won't have to worry about him too much, as there is a driver right behind him now. As we've gone a little bit wide, that means we've gone onto the gravel. That's allowed the driver to come back past us. Who is it? Is it Nico Hulkenberg? No, it's Sergio Perez who has gone past us. And then there's another driver who's right behind us. I believe that's Fernando Alonso. So we're going to try around the outside of Sergio Perez coming out of Cops. No, he just blocks us. There we go, into the back of him. Now he's just completely in our way. So we're just going to have to brake coming in towards Brooklands. Into Maggots and Beckett, sorry. as we've now got the McLaren of Fernando Alonso right behind us. Then we lose the back end. That's going to allow Fernando Alonso to gain on us. Then you can see there the Mercedes of Nico Rosberg gaining on us so much. He then nearly goes into the back of Sergio Perez. He's going to try and move maybe up the inside in towards Stowe. Yes, he does. We're going to have to defend it off. We're going taking a wider line. He's now on our inside. He's got the move done. No, he hasn't. We managed to get back past through the drive on the exit. Now we're going into Club and Vale with Nico Rosberg right on our tail to start lap 34. We've got Jenson Button just ahead of us, so hopefully we can lap him and then throw him into the path of Nico Rosberg. Not literally, of course, just meaning that he will get in the way of Nico Rosberg to start the lap. Not too sure that we're going to have to gain quite a bit as we go in towards turn 1. Very nice through there. Then into turn 2, hugging that apex. Now into turn 3, very hard braking zone, and then it's quite slow in towards this loop section. We've got Jenson Button just ahead of us. He's now getting blue flagged. Hopefully we can get past him as soon as possible. As we come down the Wellington Straight, we've got Nico Rosberg on our tail. He will get DRS on us, so hopefully it is not too much in order for him to overtake. We're just going to have to wait and see for that. And no, he doesn't. So we're going around the outside of Jenson Button in towards Brooklands, and we'll get the inside line for Luffield. No, he doesn't. He cut across, and then he goes wide yet again. Can he go in front of Nico Rosberg? No, Nico Rosberg gets through quite easily there. We go wide again, touching the gravel, but not as much as we did last time. But now Nico Rosberg is going for the move round the outside. Will he make it stick round the outside of Copse Corner? We're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to hold the inside line. No, we don't. We tried to move up the inside, but Nico Rosberg just slammed the door on us. Now he's got Marcus Ericsson ahead of us. We get past him fairly easy. Now going into Brooklands and Luffields. Can we get a good move? We're going very fast through this area. This is, sorry, not Brooklands and Luffields. I said it again. It's Maggots and Beckett, sorry. As we've got a very nice line through there. Puts us right on the back of Nico Rosberg. Can we get a good drive down the Hanger Straight? We've got the DRS open. And now heading in towards Stowe Corner. Can we go up the inside of Nico Rosberg like we did on Lewis Hampton? Yes, we do. And that is a fairly easy move with the DRS and under braking to get past Nico Rosberg. But now we've got to maintain this first position. Coming in towards this left, then right of Club and Vale. Towards the final corner, and then it's going to come across the finish line to end lap 34 and start lap 35. So far we still managed to lead every single lap of the race, but Nico Rosberg now going up the inside of turn 1. Can we hold it around the outside? No, we can't. We're going to come back onto the track. Will we let him through? No, we don't. So we decided not to let him through this time, as we now go in towards loop. In towards the loop. Nico Rosberg is still right on our tail. Maybe we'll let him through down the Wellington Straight, or he'll just probably get DRS on us and pass us anyway. As here he goes with the DRS. He's going to be right on our tail. We're going to defend the inside line. Nico Rosberg going for the outside line. He'll go around the outside in towards Brooklands and then in towards Luffield. We're going side by side here. Nico Rosberg decides to back out of it for the outside, so that's going to be an easy move in towards Luffield to maintain first position. Can he get a good run through this, through Luffield and then in towards Copse Corner like he did earlier? We're going to have to wait and see for that. He is right on our tail now. Will he go up the inside? We're going to have to wait and see. He is going to go up the inside. We're going to have to try and hold it around the outside. We run it wide just a little bit, but Nico Rosberg backed out so much that we're not really going to have to worry about that too much. We're going in towards Maggots and Beckett's, and this is where we can really try and get away from him as we are really fast through this area. As we get too much on the curb there, that meant that we lost the back end, but we have managed to shake Nico Rosberg ever so slightly. The gap is still 0.8 seconds, so he is in the DRS zone, but not by enough to go for the overtake as we go through Stowe. Then it's in towards the final couple of corners to end lap 35, and now we're starting lap 44. Looks like the gap to Nico Rosberg has increased. What is it at the moment? It's 6.1 seconds, so a good, nice, comfortable lead to Nico Rosberg at the time being as we're coming in towards the loop yet again for the 44th time. And there is a yellow flag ahead of us. So what has happened here is we're going to come through onto the Wellington Straight. We lose the back end ever so slightly there, nearly losing the car completely. Looks like there's two cars going very slowly. One of them is Kimi Räikkönen, who has managed to make his way up into 6th position. So fantastic for him. Hopefully he hasn't got any damage. But Roberto Merri looking like he got caught up with Kimi Räikkönen, trying to let him through. Now when we go up the inside of Luffield, yes we do. Roberto Merri not really trying to defend from us as he is getting blue flag. Now we've got Kimi Räikkönen behind us yet again for the 3rd time this race. Not fighting for position though, so he might be able to go for the overtake and just will be a fairly easy one. Going up the inside of Copse Corner, we're just going to let him through there. Hopefully he doesn't let us back through. Yes he does. He decides to let us back through Copse Corner, and that is an easy move on Kimi Räikkönen. As we're now going through Maggots and Beckett, he is right on our tail yet again. We're coming through this section. He will get the DRS on us once again, coming in towards the Hanger Straight and then in towards Stowe. Can he get the overtake on us there? We're going to have to wait and see. It looks like he's going up the inside in towards Stowe. And looks like that's going to be a fairly easy move. He is on the option tyres and we are on the primed. So he is going to be a lot faster at this stage. But will he let us through once again? Looks like he is. Looks like he's pulling over to the right. Goes onto the grass ever so slightly. And we're going to go up the inside, say thank you very much, and take that position back again. We're not fighting for position here, so I'm not sure what's going on, whether we should just back off and let Kimi Räikkönen get away. But the whole time that we are fighting, that allows Nico Rosberg to catch up. And the gap to him now is 3 seconds at the moment. So 3.6 second gap to Nico Rosberg. He's got a blue flag driver right in front of him. So hopefully he can hold him up as we go in towards the loop section yet again. Coming in towards the section now, we're going in towards the Wellington straight and looking at the mini-map. What's going to go on here? We've got Nico Rosberg just looking right behind us with that blue flag. Is he going to go for the overtake there? Yes, he does. And it looks like he's had a tangle with him and he's slowed down massively in the gap coming in towards the first section. We're going to have to wait and see for that as he comes across the line. It is going to be... It's a 7 seconds. So he manages to lose a whole 4 seconds with that collision with that blue flag driver. So that's excellent news for us as he's lost so much time. And I believe he also had some damage to his front wing, so he did have to come into the pits, and that allowed Sebastian Vettel to then overtake him. So Sebastian Vettel was taking second place. We've got a massive lead to Seb. It's about it's about 18 seconds as we're getting past Will Stevens, who looks like he had a problem going in towards Maggots and Beckett's, but that is a fairly easy move at the end of the day, getting past him. It's lap 50. There's only 2 more laps to go of this race. 2 more laps separate us from our first win in this season. Remember, we did get that win last season in Belgium, but we haven't had one this season, and getting a win here will definitely start to mount our championship title hopes. As we are now coming around the last couple of corners, we have led every single lap of this British Grand Prix. It's been a fantastic race for us. Maybe that's what we needed, just to lead every single lap. We haven't had any problems this race, no little niggles, no mistakes like we have done in previous races. So here we go, we're going to come around the final corner now. We're weaving the wheel early. We've got a massive lead to Sebastian Vettel. We're going to come across the line for our first win this season. Get in.
Superb driving. That's the race win.
A great result for the Red Bull team as their man takes home the race win.
They have been working really hard, and today they got their reward. Superb work from both the team and its driver.
That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye and see you again next time.
So there we go, 9 races into this F1 2015 career mode season, and we finally get our first race win. It's been a fantastic race for us, and what a place to do. We managed to beat Sebastian Vettel by 8 seconds, so he was on the option tyres at the end of the race, so he did manage to catch up quite a bit. Then Valtteri Bottas came home in 3rd. Nico Rosberg, after having that collision with the back marker, he went down into 4th place with Kimi Räikkönen, managing to finish in 5th after going down in towards 20th place on lap 7. So he had a good race for him. Felipe Massa finished in 6th with Roman Grosjean in 7th. Then it's Marcus Ericsson managed to come from 17th on the grid and finish 8th. So that is a fantastic result there. Max Verstappen in 9th, and Felipe Nasser also on 8th from 18th place on the grid, managing to come home in 10th. So a good result for both Saubers. So let's have a look at how this affects us in the drivers' standings. In the drivers' standings, Nico Rosberg now takes the championship lead with Lewis Hamilton 4 points behind him. Both of those two having disappointing races, and with us getting the race win, that means the gap to the leader for us is now 15 points. We are definitely in for this title challenge now. Kimi Räikkönen goes down to 4th place. He is 27 points behind Nico Rosberg, and then our teammate Daniil Ricciardo has moved down into 7th after getting that DNF in this race. And in the constructors standings, Mercedes still lead the way on 270 points. We are on 201, still in 2nd, with Ferrari right behind us now. They're only 3 points behind us in this constructors championship. Then it's Williams, who are quite a way behind us, so we won't have to worry about those too much at the moment. Thank you very much for joining me for this British Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button, especially as we did manage to get our first race win this season. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more F1 content in the future. I hope to see you all next time at the Hungarian Grand Prix. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.